Straight ahead on 12 News, a traffic violation with potentially deadly consequences.
There's no reason we should be hit on the side of the road.
We ride along with the State Patrol to show you a law often overlooked. Then, the big change of scenery in Brooklyn Center. But first, new details about a former New Hope man with ties to terrorism. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. We are learning more about a New Hope native who was killed in Syria while fighting alongside a terrorist group.
33-year-old Douglas McCain was killed this past weekend. He grew up in New Hope and went to Robbinsdale schools. 12 News reporter Sonia Goins has more.
Our number one priority remains counterterrorism.
Douglas McCain grew up in New Hope, but then moved to San Diego to attend college. His friends call him Doug. They didn't want to go on camera, but they say McCain loved to play basketball and enjoyed listening to rap music. McCain attended both Armstrong and Cooper high schools. The Robbinsdale School District says they don't have a record of him graduating, but they did give us this statement. We are shocked to learn that a former student was involved in this tragic story. On his Twitter page, McCain goes by the name of Dwali Khalid. It says McCain converted to Islam 10 years ago. He says it was the best thing that ever happened to him, and he'd never go back. He also makes several references to Syria and says he's not afraid of dying. He says, when it's my time to go, have mercy on my soul. Have mercy on my brothers.
Syria is something that I worry about every single day as part of my counterterrorism responsibilities.
FBI Director James Comey recently visited the Brooklyn Center field office. He says about 100 Americans have left this country to join terror groups in Syria.
And here's why I worry about it. There are thousands of people from all over the world, including from all parts of the United States, who are traveling to Syria, learning the worst kinds of techniques and tactics, and making the worst kinds of relationships.
Now, FBI officials in San Diego are in charge of the investigation. They would not confirm whether McCain was on the terror watch list. Meanwhile, Hennepin County records show that McCain has had several incidents with the law, including disorderly conduct, driving without a license, a minor drug possession charge, and giving officers a false name. Mike?
All right, thank you, Sonia. Well, McCain isn't the only person with local ties linked to a terrorist group. Another young man who attended Cooper had ties to a terrorist organization, this one in Somalia. Troy Kastigar died in 2009 while fighting for al-Shabaab. He was actually a roommate of McCain, and the two were close friends. McCain paid tribute to Kastigar on Facebook after his friend's death. The Ted Foss Move Over law requires Minnesota drivers to move over one lane if they see an emergency vehicle stopped on the side of the road.
The law is named after a state trooper who was killed 14 years ago this weekend while parked on the shoulder. As Delane Cleveland reports, officers say they see people breaking the law every single day.
On Minnesota's highways,
it's not a safe environment. You never know which one of these cars is going to lose control.
cars travel at high and sometimes dangerous speeds.
This is our office out here, and we just ask that people respect it.
Sergeant Scott Wall is a veteran of the Minnesota State Patrol.
We're always looking for violations. That's what we do.
And he has yet to see a day where drivers are 100% compliant with the move over law.
I've personally, responded to crashes where partners have been hit at roadside while on traffic stops. I've had partners that have been injured, and unfortunately, Trooper Foss was killed.
While patrolling I-94 in Minneapolis,
So I'm going to light him up here.
Sergeant Wall made his usual stops for various traffic violations.
So why are you driving without a driver's license?
It didn't take long to spot one driver after another failing to move over with the sergeant's car parked on the shoulder.
So the reason I pulled you over, do you have any idea?
Some people said they couldn't do it safely.
You're aware of the move over law then? Okay, that's a good thing.
Yet there are others who say they had no idea the law exists.
You didn't know that. All right, well, we're here to educate you today. You're required to move one lane away from my squad car if that lane's available.
For a law that's more than a decade old, officers say ignorance is one of the most surprising things.
It seems like we've had numerous campaigns telling the people we're out there working and we're going to be enforcing it.
But every traffic stop reminds them that the message hasn't reached everyone just yet.
There are times, again, where you don't have the ability to move over. Pay attention to your driving. Acknowledge our presence, change your driving behavior. There's no reason we should be hit on the side of the road.
In Minneapolis, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The State Patrol says slowing down isn't always the best option when drivers don't have the ability to move over, because slowing down too much can create a dangerous situation. The best thing to do in those situations is to avoid distractions and pay attention to your driving.
And according to the move over law, drivers are required to move over or slow down for any emergency vehicle with flashing lights. That's not only means police, fire, and ambulance vehicles, but also tow truck drivers and maintenance and construction vehicles along the side of the road. In fact, you can get a ticket if a crew member reports a description of your vehicle and your license plate number to police within 4 hours. And those fines can top $100.
Could the future of Plymouth be seen in a single neighborhood? After a vote Tuesday night, many Plymouth City Council members would likely say yes. At issue was whether to turn land on Cottonwood Lane in southeast Plymouth into 6 new high-end homes. Current zoning rules allow only 5 homes. Many neighbors say allowing the proposal would disrupt the character of their neighborhood, which has many mature trees. And Mayor Kelly Slavic argued the city is bending zoning rules to help a developer make a profit. To compromise, the developer agreed to development restrictions in that neighborhood for a period of 30 years. In the end, the City Council voted 4-2 to allow the development to go through. Councilmember Tim Bildso, who is retiring from his seat, called it one of the tougher decisions in his 16 years on the council.
It's a building nearly 10 years in the making, but on the campus of North Hennepin Community College, there is a new center giving students real-world medical training.
I thought they checked my blood sugar earlier. Right now I am so concerned about the swelling in my leg.
This is a snapshot of the kind of simulation work that nursing students are now able to practice in the new Bioscience and Health Careers Center at North Hennepin. The new building along 85th Avenue in Brooklyn Park features 6 science labs, 4 simulation rooms, and 2 nursing labs. It allows North Hennepin to expand their science and healthcare-related programming to meet the needs of the workforce.
It's going to fulfill a need for the workforce to help provide workers that are better trained in some of the technology that is being used right now. And we're working with our partners, business partners, and our advisory boards to try and make sure we're meeting everybody's needs.
This is the first week of classes in that new building. A grand opening will be held September 23rd.
What's now farmland will soon become park preserve. The Three Rivers Park District has acquired 38 acres of land in Rogers near the Crow-Hassan Park Reserve. A purchase price has not yet been disclosed. Three Rivers says the new land could be reforested with oak and aspen trees. The Crow-Hassan Park Reserve itself is also undergoing changes. A prairie restoration project will take place there this winter.
Coming up, it's down to the last minute for back-to-school shopping. We'll have some tips in money savers coming up next.
And then a little bit later in sports, Armstrong and Wayzata battle in an early season matchup in girls swimming.
But first, it is clouding up a bit. There's a strong chance for rain on Thursday. For most kids, school is less than a week away.
And if you haven't shopped for school supplies by now, chances are you will pay a little bit more for them. Here are a few tips from reporter Shannon Slatton in today's Money Savers.
You've probably noticed on the aisles of your local grocery store, like here at Olmsted's, that it's school supply time. The best prices for school supplies are usually in early July when they first go out on shelves. However, you can still spot a few good deals today.
So I really believe in price comparing because you get this school supply list, 30 items, and if you add it all up, I mean, you're spending a significant amount of money.
Harry Hasha of PocketYourDollars.com tracks school supply costs from 13 national retailers and Amazon.com.
This year, though, compared to years past, the discounts haven't been quite as deep, due in part to the fact that since last year, Office Max and Office Depot have merged into one store, so that's really decreased some of the competition.
You can access current prices and where the best deals are on Pocket Your Dollars, which offers a weekly spreadsheet comparing prices.
If you're of the type that just wants to do a one-stop shop in and out, then also confirm with that price comparison chart and just kind of do a thumb to the wind. Who's got the best prices on most of what I need, so at least you can feel like you're making an informed decision.
If you want to skip the store, you might come out ahead. Some of the best prices this year are on Amazon.
We've seen some of the lowest prices from Amazon, particularly if you're willing to buy things in some sort of bulk, whether it's binders or rolls of tape. They're selling them at really competitive prices.
And buying in bulk right now is a good idea since school supplies are at their lowest. Stock up on items to last all school year. In Crystal, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
And here's another practical tip. Go through what supplies your child already has before you go out and buy new ones. You might find something that can still be used. Coming up, a colorful solution to a problem in Brooklyn Center.
But first in sports, a season preview of the Cooper Hawks football team. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Oh, Wayzata may be the swim team to beat again, huh?
They have got a good team again. You know, Armstrong not bad, but unable to compete this night against Wayzata. It was a battle for Plymouth bragging rights in the pool. Defending Class AA girls swimming champion Wayzata took on a good Armstrong squad Tuesday evening at Lifetime Fitness in Plymouth. 200 freestyle race. And Wayzata's Mary Whiting wins in a time of 1 minute 54.39 seconds. The Trojans dominate their early races. Madison Price wins the 200 individual medley, breaking her own pool record from last year. Her time 2 minutes, 7.52 seconds. Armstrong gets a win on the 50 free as Rachel Peterson wins the sprint. Her teammate Samantha Sherbet is second. 100 butterfly, Whiting blows away the field. Her winning time 59.51 seconds. In the 500 freestyle, it's Armstrong Courtney Evanson, one of the state's best, touching home first in 5 minutes, 9.81 seconds. And in the 100 backstroke, Price makes it 2 for 2. Her winning time, 58.22 seconds. Wayzata wins the meet 98-80. In soccer, it was the first night of conference play in the expanded 14-team Northwest Suburban Conference Tuesday night. Osseo hosting Maple Grove in a girls-boys doubleheader. Girls match first. Brianna Johnson with a first-half scoring chance for Grove, but Osseo keeper Sam Brecht makes the save. At the other end, the Orioles' Leah Yonkers gets a loose ball, gets to it, but then the save made by Marissa Hamilton there for Maple Grove. Later in the first half, Johnson burying the shot here off the pass from Meredith Hawkinson. 1-0 Maple Grove, and that's the score at halftime. Second half, Hawkinson gets around the Osseo defender, but is tripped there in the penalty box, and that results in a penalty kick. And Hawkinson buries the PK. Maple Grove's second goal of the match, and it's 2-0, and the Crimson add one more before the night's over. Jackie Ehlert blasting a shot in here, and the Crimson blank the Orioles 3-0. Maple Grove is now 2-0 on the season. In the boys' match between those schools, first half, Ryan Dubois gets himself free here for Maple Grove. Gabe Galmu thinks he gets a clean tackle, but he's instead called for a trip, and that results in a penalty kick for Maple Grove. Kevin Hoof will take the PK, and he scores. Maple Grove grabbing a 1-0 lead. They were to add another great pass off a free kick. Hoof to Daniel Cortez. Watch his header find the back of the Osseo net, and it's 2-0 Crimson. Second half, Maple Grove had a chance to go up 3-0, but Osseo goalie Isaiah Stewart comes up with a big save on Garrett Maupin's shot. Osseo's Francis Hulb gets behind the Maple Grove defense and scores late to pull the Orioles within 2-1. That's as close as they would get. 2-1 Maple Grove is the final. Cooper is part of the new Metro West Conference that started play this fall. The Hawks football team hopes to have a strong showing in the league. Here's Jay Wilcox with today's Prep Football Training Camp report.
With numbers a little thin and a lot of players lost to graduation, there was some uncertainty coming into fall camp at Cooper. They feel much better now.
First couple weeks, we started off a little slow, trying to get to know each other, get a little chemistry on the team. Now we're pretty fast, up-tempo, scrimmages went really well. We didn't know how we were going to come out, but we showed the coaches and other opponents that we were ready for the season.
Practices, we going hard. Some people's even staying after 2 days working, so I think this is the best group we had so far since I've been here as a freshman.
You know, anytime that you graduate a lot of kids like we've done over the last couple of years, you always walk into camp questioning what you have. The last 2 weeks, I have to say, being my 5th year, this has been our best two-a-day camp that we've had.
Speedy running back Levante Taylor is primed for a big year. Quarterback Philip Howard, and wide receiver Jordan Marshall are also back. They'll work behind a big offensive line led by Jalen Johnson. The Metro West has some new opponents that will require some film study, but that's not a big concern.
All teams look different the next year. St. Louis Park is going to be a different team this year than they were last year. Bloomington Kennedy is going to be different than what they were last year, and now it just happens to be a game that we have to prepare for. And so we're ready for River Falls. We're doing all of our prep for them, and then we'll get on the schedule to see who we got next, one game at a time.
Big games we're looking forward to are Benil, Chaska, and Chanhassen. I'm not saying we're looking past anybody, but those are games we're really looking forward to if we want to get to and win.
Depth could be an issue, but Cooper has the talent to be a solid club. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Thanks, Jay. The Hawks went 5-4 last season. Willie Howard starts his 5th season with just 4 starters back on offense and only 1 on defense. Cooper hosts River Falls, Wisconsin Thursday. A lot of opening night football games on Thursday around the area.
Exciting time.
Yes.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, it's the length of nearly 4 football fields, and it's exploding with color.
The newest art creation that's sure to make people take a second look when we come back. And finally, work is finished on a 1,400-foot-long mural with a tapestry of colors designed entirely by Brooklyn Center children.
The sole goal of the mural is to keep gangs away, and make no mistake, it takes hard work.
Hello, these kids did not have a fun time painting the wall. They worked at it, and it's huge. It really is big. You don't really get it until you walk it.
It was a hot and difficult summer job, but take a look at what 30 teenagers from Brooklyn Center and Minneapolis created this summer in 27 days. The sound wall outside Earl Brown Elementary School is now a giant quilt of art with more than 1,200 squares designed by students from the elementary school. The wall was once the site of gang graffiti. Now it sends a different message.
By taking the wall away from them, they can't claim it. They can't hang out here. The little kids who are in school don't look out their window or come out to their playground and see the advertisement for gang life.
The project was more than 3 years in the making. Mike, you and I were both out there today. It looks great. Those students did an incredible job, and the scope of it really is impressive.
You almost have to be there in person to see it, because really, from one end, you can't see the other end.
The other end, that's right.
It's pretty cool.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow, everyone.